We just know what happened in practice over the weekend. Tyrone took a hit. I didn't see anything in practice where he went down. I just think he went to the sideline. They just did tests and X-rays after that, but so it's unfortunate for Tyrone.
Did it happen Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday we had off Sunday.
Was it just a drill or?
Just practice. I'm not sure. It was practice. Whether it was 5-on-5, 4-on-4. I mean, it's part of practice.
So it wasn't even something you actually saw happen?
No, I didn't. No.
How does this obviously change things substantially for you guys without your most experienced player? How do you adjust what?
Well, I just think you keep rolling. I mean, you lose a key guy like Tyrone. It's not an easy thing to transition when you got 15 points, almost 5 assists, 4 or 5 rebounds, but a guy that's a tremendous leader. So when you lose that, but also a presence, it's not necessarily points in the production, but you have a presence from a guy that's battle-tested. But I think Sam will step up and get the job done. I think he's excited about the opportunity. Unfortunately, how it went down, but he's excited to get an opportunity to go out there and play and compete. Also, Brandon Chaka, and then we'll see how it goes from there. But I think both of those guys are ready to embrace that challenge.
Yeah, have you pulled aside those guys at all and kind of talked to them one-on-one about what this means for them?
Well, I talk to them all the time, so it's not a case of, this happened, now you guys need to step up, because you don't want any added pressure. It's basketball, stuff they've been practicing, things they've been doing from day one. I think more than anything, Brandon Chaka, you're the next guy in line, so be ready, because Sam's been in the rotation, so it's a little bit different for Sam because he's been on the floor. But I think in Brandon's case, just being ready. And the plus about both of those guys, they work extremely hard. Even though Brandon probably hadn't played in 5 or 6 games, he's really worked hard. He continued to work. He's a worker, so it won't be a lot of drop-off as far as conditioning from that standpoint. It comes to Brandon because he's a guy that works extremely hard.
Sam has played pretty well for you at times recently. What's your confidence level with him as your starter now?
Oh, no problem at all. And I think, again, it's a great opportunity for Sam. I think he's ready to go. I mean, the good thing about this, to lose Tyrone is tough, but I think the guys will rally around Sam and Brandon just to give them a level of comfort, to know that we're here to support you guys. Because when you lose a piece like Tyrone, a senior, a guy that brings so much to the table, you want to make those other guys know that we're here with you guys. So do everything in your power to be successful. We're here to help and support.
When you've had experiences like this in the past, do you ever find that the other guys elevate their game to make up the difference? And who do you need to step up besides Sam?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily guys stepping up being a superhero. I just think doing what you do, but at a high level and being consistent. Because I think even in the 3 road games with Tyrone, you have 49 turnovers in 3 road games. You're down the stretch in the game with 40-plus seconds left in the game where it can go either way. You give up offensive rebounds. 50%, 55% average from the free throw line those 3 games. So you give yourself a chance to win. I think for us, it's really taking care of the basketball. At least try to hover around 70+% from the free throw line. I think we'll be okay, because I think our defense has been sound to give us what we need. But now we just got to be consistent on the offensive end and give ourselves a chance to win games and not turn the ball over. But it's not necessarily a guy or 2 guys to step up and do something they haven't already done. It's just when your opportunity presents itself, be ready to go.
What Sam has given you over the past 3 or 4 games when he's come in, obviously losing a guy like Tyrone is tough, but having seen what he's given you, does that make it a little bit of a lesser pain?
Well, it's always pain. Because more than the production on the floor, winning and losing games, is a senior, a guy that came back to school to do something special and to see him go down. So you hurt for Tyrone Wallace. Now, as far as Sam is concerned, I think Sam will be ready to play. Because Sam, again, he puts the work in practice, so it's not like it's something he hadn't practiced on the floor. He hadn't been out there. He's been in the practice. He understands everything we're trying to do. So I think it'll be a smooth transition. Again, just going from a guy that's coming off the bench to a starter, it's an adjustment within itself. And I think once the game gets going, he'll be fine.
You talked about the free throws and some other issues. How concerned are you that this far into the season, especially your young guys, are still so foul prone and getting themselves in situations, spend a lot of time on the bench with you?
Well, it's not necessarily a concern. It's just continue to work on the things we do in practice, the preparation. The thing we talk with young guys, even all other guys, is you have to be ready before it happens. You can't react when it's too late. You have to position yourself before the play happens on defense. And I think that is the biggest key, being turned around, being ready, especially when the ball is moving in transition, to be set, to be able to play defense. I think when you react late, that's when you get in trouble. And I think the positioning early because most of their fouls they get, I mean, it's understandable, and I see why the referee makes the call. So it's not a case of hard fouls or protecting somebody, taking a charge from somebody else. So we have to do a better job positioning ourselves early, and then they won't get in those fouls.
How do you feel like the guys have responded to this 3-game skid? What's the mood been like past couple of days?
Well, that part has been good because, again, they come back and work hard. And I think that is always a plus when guys come back and work hard. I mean, anytime you're playing on the road, it's always tough. I mean, you still got to try to manage to win games. But I think the thing that gives them consolation in those losses, when you come back and watch film and you say you lost the game, when you're shooting free throws and you're not even at a 60% clip on the road, and again, 49 turnovers in 3 games, that is hard to win games, even at home. I think once we shore that part of it, because those are things we can't do. Once we correct that, I think we'll be fine. But because they know how we lost the games, it's not a case of we did everything spectacular. We just weren't good enough to win the game. So that wasn't the case. It was a case of things that we need to correct. Now, obviously, you got to give the other teams credit for doing what they need to do to win the games.
When you lose a player of his caliber, his magnitude,
Yeah.
his value to your team, if you're like rolling and you're playing great at the time, is that easier than right now? Is this the worst possible time to lose him when you're trying to turn around a little skid?
Well, I think anytime you lose them because it's an adjustment. I mean, because that's production on the floor. Not just that, but it's also leadership. A guy that the little things that you don't get on the floor, the respect level around the league when he steps on the floor from the officials who understand who he is, those are the things that you don't account for. But I think anytime you lose, the key part is always tough. I don't think it matters whether you win 4 in a row, lost 5 in a row. It's all the same.
And they're telling you that he will be back this season for sure.
Well, I just heard, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, that's all I was consumed with. I didn't get caught up in anything else.
How did it happen?
In practice Saturday, I'm not sure how it happened. He just got hit within a 5-on-5 drill. But it wasn't anything that stood out. He kind of went to the sideline during a water break, had the trainer look at it, and then they went from there.
How's Tyrone dealing with this?
He's okay. I mean, I guess as good as he can be at this point. I understand how it feels to be injured and be out of games, so I guess as good as he can be.
I know his career might not be over, but how would you reflect on just what he's meant to your transition here?
Oh, he's made it smooth. A guy, again, when you talking about a guy who's a wing player that goes to the point guard position, that's not easy, and I thought he did a great job adjusting from that standpoint. But a guy that's done a lot of good things for us, rebounding, assisting, attacking, scoring, and again, the leadership. And I think he's really grown as a basketball player when it comes to leading his team.
Who are the guys on the team that can fill that void?
I think right now, Sam, Jabari, those guys have those qualities. Even Steven Domingo, who doesn't play a lot, at least currently, but those guys have those type of qualities to be leaders on the floor. And they do that every day. It's not a case of, okay, Tyrone's out, let's try to lead. I mean, they have that in their DNA, and they bring that to the practice all the time.
Is it kind of make you feel a little bit better that the young guys, Rab and Brown specifically, are kind of coming into their own a little bit?
Well, just as long as they're playing well, I mean, because it's a team game, and I think those guys have done a good job because they continue to grow every game. They continue to grow in practice, and they'll have to step up even more, just from the standpoint of not necessarily production, but awareness, preparation, focus, all those things. I think that's the next phase for those guys because they can score the ball. They can do things to give us a chance to win games. But I just think those little things, attention to detail, scouting reports, staying out of foul trouble, and I think that's where they help more than anything.
What will you miss most about him on the floor, besides the leadership, the experience?
Or a guy that can make a play. I think that's the biggest key. When you're talking about one of probably 5 guys in all of our league that can make a play, you can give him the ball anywhere on the floor, and he can get to the rim and make something happen. And not many guys can do that.
In your career, can you think of some other examples where you kind of had to deal with a big injury like this midseason?
Yes, I think my second year at Tennessee, Jerron Mayman, who's our best player on the team, he was out for the whole season. He tried to go and just couldn't go, and that was a tough blow. Had multiple knee injuries, and he was kind of the hardest soul of the team from a physical standpoint, toughness, what he brought to the table. 6'7", could play the 1 through 4. So that was a big loss. And again, it's more for the young man. I mean, your team will bounce back, and it's part of injuries is a part of the game. It just you hate for it to happen to you, but it's really for the young man what he has to go through. So.
Were you happy with how the team handled that?
Yeah, you make a job. One thing about players, you make adjustments, you keep moving. I mean, it's like one of your brothers are down, but it's not like he's no longer part of the team. He's still in the locker room. And every player wants to play. I mean, and Sam Singer coming off the bench, Brandon Chaka not playing as much, those guys would love to be starters. So it's tough to see Tyrone go, but it's also, as a player, you have an opportunity. And I've always said, with adversity comes opportunity. So you have to be ready when it presents itself.
You guys have anything else?
We haven't asked you about Arizona. Yeah, playing. I got lost here in the shuffle. What's your impression of Bobby Hurley's first season?
Oh, doing a great job. You know, they had some experience returning, some tough guys, physical guys. They played very well against us here last year. They play hard. They rebound the basketball. They crash the glass extremely well. And I think with Trey Holder as a sophomore point guard, he's probably scoring as well as anybody in the league. He's doing a great job scoring the basketball. Last year, he probably averaged, 8, 9, 10 points, but he did more facilitating than shooting. But now he's really shooting the ball, and he's shooting it at a high level. He's getting to the rim. And he has a lot of guys around him that can not only shoot the ball, but make plays off the dribble. When you got, multiple guys between 6'6", 6'8", can dribble the ball, can shoot it from three. With physical stature, it creates a problem if you're not ready to rebound and box out.
They only really have one true big in Jacobson. How does he compare with some of the big quality ones you've seen in the conference, like Bubble and?
Well, I think he one of the three guys I would say in the league are really good low post defenders, one-on-one defenders. Now, whether they double the post every now and then, but I think he does a good job positioning himself to play post defense, but also get charges around the rim, and he protects for those guys. I think he do a really good job with that. But that's what you expect from a senior.